Booyah shipmate, Skipper Agadio here. Welcome to today's all-hand quarters for the week starting 26 October 2020. Blue Hawks, since March of this year, we've been unable to get together as a squadron in person to talk about quarters for everybody. Right? We've been unable to pass word like we usually do, hand out awards, provide feedback based off of your questions. So what we're going to attempt to do is do this virtually. Every couple of weeks we'll record and post these videos to a private YouTube channel where we can say whatever we need to say and allow everybody to watch the video at their own choosing. Maybe they want to watch it at home on their couch. Maybe they're in a park, they want to watch it on their cell phone. Maybe they want to listen to something on their drive in to and from work. Maybe they're on duty one night and they've got nothing else to do. They want to watch the all hands quarters. It will allow us to do that. Pass word, maybe hand out some awards, talk about what the squadron has been up to, and refocus the squadron on its priorities. So what I'll start out today with is talk about our priorities as a squadron. And we've got 4 priorities I want to lay out for the remainder of calendar year 21. Number 1 is MPA. For those of you who don't work downstairs, MPA stands for Maintenance Program Assessment. That's when the Type Wing, HSM Wing Pack, comes on over with their maintenance inspection team, and they make sure we're doing maintenance properly. We've got on order of 40 plus maintenance programs, anything from tire and wheel surveillance to fuel cell surveillance to electrostatic discharge, QA audit, FOD prevention, right? Programs that are there to make sure we're doing maintenance properly. And we've got program managers and monitors assigned to each of those programs. And over the past few weeks and the past few months for that matter, they've been making sure that their programs are getting ready to go and are run in accordance with the instruction. So thank you for all that they've been doing. Along with that, our divisional leadership, the division officers, division chiefs, LPOs, work center supervisors, have been making sure that their own shops are performing maintenance properly. As simple as checking ASM, make sure that all of their personnel have their CPR qualifications. Maybe they have their PHAs done. Making sure that NAP in-dock is appropriately annotated in ASM, and making sure that everyone has their explosive egress safety completed. Anything also down to making sure folks check out and pre-up their cranials before starting the day. Making sure that their toolboxes are accounted for and that they're signed out and inventoried, ATAF'd at the appropriate times, right? I know just this afternoon, QA performed a NATOPS contingency drill. So that makes sure that the work centers have their manual workloads and that the maintainers are going in and out of their maintenance work orders, not only in NATOPS and UMA, but also on the paper workload. In the case that NATOPS goes down, we know what folks are working on. Oh, and by the way, the other thing that the maintenance team will inspect from the wing is they'll run some drills, making sure that we know how to properly respond to, let's say, a battery thermal runaway, maybe electrostatic shock, and so that we know how to take care of a sailor who maybe passes out and who might need medical assistance. And the last thing that they'll check is any practical maintenance evolutions. Anything from towing an aircraft to if the airframe shop may need to change out a main landing gear tire, making sure that we're doing that appropriately in accordance with the instructions. So it's not just the maintenance program managers who are affected by this inspection, it's everyone who works downstairs and then everyone who works upstairs who happens to be maybe flying that day or walking through the hangar bay when they call out a man down drill. So thank you for all you've been doing for the past few weeks, and that remains the focus for this next week and the week coming next Monday. So please to continue to put in the effort, make sure that we're running and conducting aircraft maintenance in accordance with the 4790 and all the other governing instructions. Thank you for that. Priority number 2 is major aircraft maintenance. And over the past few weeks, we've been doing a lot of that. Lots of major aircraft maintenance. The maintenance leadership team has developed a comprehensive plan in order to get a lot of our major maintenance out in preparation for next year's deployment. We've got a lot of 546-day special inspections that need to get rebased before deploying. And we've got a few PMI rebuilds and inductions that we need to finish up so that we have the aircraft ready to go for deployment. And I'll tell you, over the next couple weeks, we have lots of major aircraft maintenance to do. Starting with aircraft 701, Cell 2 is doing that PMI rebuild along with a 546-day special inspection. We'll be buying back aircraft 705 from PMI later this week. Aircraft 712 is starting, and it's FCF today. FCF ground turns today after the work of Cell 2 and Home Guard finishing that up for that 546-day inspection. 714 is being led up for a 546-day and Phase D inspection led by AD1 Rivera Montes. We just stood up a mid-check for a dedicated team to finish up that aircraft. And then lastly, we're in the middle of a Phase A inspection on an aircraft 711 being done by the CVN element. So lots of major aircraft maintenance going on there, and that remains priority 2 over these next few months. Priority 3 I want to lay out is other inspections and certifications for our squadron. Starting with CWTPI. CWTPI is a conventional weapons technical proficiency inspection. That's when the Type Wings Ordnance Inspection Team comes on over and ensure we are loading weapons and ordnance on our aircraft properly. Right, we'll do some pro loads from Hellfire missiles to torpedoes, maybe do some chaff and flare RNCs to make sure that we know how to load and unload aircraft ordnance properly, safely, and effectively in accordance with the LWS weapon loading manuals. Another inspection that we have coming up command-wide is the NATOPS unit Eval. That will happen in middle of November. And the NATOPS program, for those who don't know, is basically the flight manual, operating and training manual for our aircraft. That's the flight manual that the pilots and air crewmen use to ensure we are flying and operating the helicopter in accordance with the NAVAIR directives. And in the case something goes wrong, like an emergency procedure, we know how to handle it properly and get the aircraft and the crew back safely on land or on the ship. So HSM-41 is the NATOPS model manager. They'll come on over, inspect our program, and make sure we're running the program in accordance with the instructions. The last unit evaluation we have is the SAR model manager eval. That's search and rescue. HSE-3 is the CNO SAR model manager, and they'll come over in December, make sure we have a good qualification program and that our SAR equipment run by the Paraloft downstairs is being maintained and in accordance with the instructions. So lots of major maintenance and lots of major command-wide inspections that will happen between now and the end of calendar year 21. Oh, by the way, Bravo Zulu to those who passed a couple of major inspections last week. Number 1 is the PPMAP Government Purchase Card Program led by the Material Control Division in Lieutenant Schmidt and LS1 Williams LS's teams. Making sure that When supply goes out and use a government purchase card, we're following all the rules, ethical rules and legal rules, to make sure we're purchasing stuff in accordance with the standards. And I'll tell you what, they knocked that inspection out of the park with only one discrepancy. So well done, material control there. The second inspection we had last week was the ACTC inspection. That's Air Combat Training Continuum Inspection. That's really a tactical qualification program, largely upstairs folks, pilots and air crewmen. The HSM Weapons School came over, make sure we're running their program effectively in accordance with the instruction, and we qualify our pilots and air crewmen properly in accordance with the Seawolf Tactical Manual. And well done, we passed that with flying colors also, so well done to our tactics team. And that's the third priority for the command, are those inspections. The last remaining priority, priority number 4 for the remainder of the calendar year 2021, is our combat element stand-up. As you know, the CVN element for Carl Vinson and combat element 2 aboard Michael Murphy have been stood up for some time now. We have 2 remaining combat elements, one for USS Lake Champlain, combat element 1, and then combat element 3 aboard USS Stockdale, who have yet to be stood up. So we've just identified all the team leads and the ordnance and pilot and air crewmen who will be manning those combat elements, and that will be the priority number 4 for the squadron as we get ready for our underway periods come January. So those are the 4 priorities for the squadron for these next couple of months. Again, number 1, MPA, maintenance inspection. Number 2, other inspections. Number 2 is aircraft major maintenance. Number 3 is the other inspection, CWTPI, NATOPS, and SAR evals. And then number 4 is our combat element stand-up. We've been very busy over the past few months, but I'll highlight a couple of the flight operations we've been doing over the past couple of weeks, because I think it's important for everybody to know what flight events, all of your efforts, whether you work in admin, providing admin and personnel support, if you work in the ARO, providing food and nourishment support, or you're working on the aircraft, making sure the aircraft are ready for the flight events. Everybody's part of the team, and for the ultimate goal of making sure our aircraft and personnel are mission ready to accomplish the mission. So I'll just highlight some of the missions that we did over the past couple of weeks. We had DLQs, where we provided currency for 6 pilots and other air crewmen. We did a couple of SAR jumps flights where we qualified some search and rescue swimmers to make sure that we're still SAR current when we stand SAR duty. We supported LSE school, Landing Signalman Enlisted School at HSC 3. Also did some VRT training for some of our pilots also. And then we did a couple of MEO events, Maritime Interdiction, where we supported some Naval Special Warfare SEALs embarking and boarding practice non-compliant and compliant boarding of suspect surface ships. And then just last week we had a range event for anti-submarine warfare, where we had a couple of MH-60 Romeos go out and track a subsurface maritime target, simulating submarine hunting. So well done there. And again, every Blue Hawk attached to our squadron supported all of those events in one form or the other. All right, a couple of announcements. Flu Shot X is going on, so get your flu shot between now and 30 October. Our squadron corpsmen are conducting the flu shots at Admiral Martin Gym on the base from 0730 to 1530, so go out and support that. If you're on night check or on mid check, if you don't desire to come in during those hours, you can always go out in town, get your flu shot done at Walgreens for free. Just show them your CAT card and you can get that flu shot done for free. make sure you bring your receipt back with you to show the squadron corpsman so that they can check you off in the database. This Friday, October 30th, is the MWR Halloween door decorating contest, so feel free to participate in that. Safety Department wants to let everybody know that starting 3 November will be another CSA MCAS safety survey. To go along with that, Chief Elam and the CRT team have been doing focus groups over the past couple of weeks and have been meeting to pour over all of the data and great suggestions that everyone put into the CSA the DOCS Command Climate Survey that we did prior to and around the change of command timeline. So we've been looking at that. The team has been looking at that, and I'll be looking to get a brief here soon off of those results, and we'll be sure to debrief the rest of the squadron on what the feedback was and how we're going to do better to improve the squadron's command climate. A shout out goes out to our 4 Blue Hawks who participated in this year's Swedish school up in Fallon, Nevada. We had 4 Blue Hawk maintainers go up and support HSM-41, who brought their aircraft over to support the Swedish school up at Fallon, Nevada. Those members were ATA and Flowers, AEA and Timmerman, ADA and Jaime, and 82 Aguirre Cabrera. So bravo Zulu to a job well done. HSM-41's skipper and their maintenance leadership provided me great feedback on the work you guys all did out there. And they couldn't have done it without you for sure. So again, bravo Zulu for a job well done. All right, a few new check-ins over the past few weeks I want to highlight. Chief Verlone came from 41. AEAR Harrell, AEAR Anderson, AMAN Packus, all checked in from A School in Great Lakes. Welcome aboard. AO3 Durant and AW1 Rodriguez both checked in from HSM 41 also. AE1 Ward is checking in from recruiting duty out in Ohio. AE1 Newman checking in from HSC 3. PR1 Jackson coming in from AIMD K-Bay in Hawaii. And AOAA Pardo Santana checking in from Great Lakes and A School in Pensacola. Welcome aboard, everybody. A few checkouts over the past few weeks and a couple months. Chief Geiger is headed and is already checked into Fleet Readiness Center Southwest, FRC Southwest here at North Island. 82 Williams went cross-country to FRC Mid-Atlantic in Norfolk, Virginia. YN2 Ford is still on the base, but he's part of the base staff now at Naval Base Coronado. AW2 Cadena checked out, and he's over at HSM 49. PR1 Dino Briga checked out and is now over at Sear School here at North Island. And Lieutenant Rowe checked out, and he's over at VT 28. Reenlistments over the past few weeks: IT2 Santiago, AE3 Stove, A22 Mater, LS2 Morpo, AM2 Marquez Ponce, AD1 Myers, AD1 Cruz, AT3 Johnson Anderson, and LS2 Chung. Congratulations on your reenlistments. AM3 Young Lopez, congratulations on achieving your U.S. citizenship. That's a major feat, and congratulations is deserved there too. All right, a couple more issues. One, I want to bring up our holiday leave policy. So just last week on Friday, I signed our holiday leave policy. It's not lost on me over the past few months, and COVID started back in March. We've been stuck on this mission essential policy, right? What that meant was folks are not able to do the things that they're usually able to do. From meeting up with your friends and family in groups larger than 10, not able to go out on a normal leave, maybe to New York to see your family, travel on vacation to Hawaii, whatever that case is, you are not able to do it because of our COVID restrictions. And it's not lost on me if we continue along this path all the way through our end of deployment next year. It could be almost 2 years before anyone would get any meaningful out of area leave. Right? The only folks who are able to leave the local San Diego area were those folks who maybe had emergencies, family emergencies, maybe some hardships, maybe some humanitarian reasons, right? We had a lot of folks who were able to get out of area leave approved for those specific reasons, but for everyone else, we've been really stuck here in the local area. So what the Admiral of the Carrier Strike Group has allowed us to do with the approval of Carrier Air Wing 2 is over this next couple of months of November and December before we get underway in January is actually take out of area leave. So we've signed a leave policy that will allow us to do that. We've got one leave block in November and one in December, which will allow folks to take leave in the lower 48 continental United States to go out and visit family, reconnect with your family who you haven't seen over the past 7 months. Maybe take a well-deserved vacation with your family here, and just to get your mind off of work and recharge your batteries before we start on in the workup cycle starting next year. So please take a look at that policy. We still have certain COVID restrictions we need to abide by, but every Blue Hawk who is desires to take that out of area leave will be afforded the opportunity. Do note that we still have operations we need to do over these next couple of months. So that at the department head level, they will manage the qualifications, who we need to have here, so that we can still conduct flights, so that we can still get those combat elements and the carrier elements ready for our underway period in January. So take a look at that policy, understand what it is, and get your leave chits in per the deadlines associated with that, so that we can get those approved by CAG, okay? All right, last thing I'll touch on is the safety stand down we had this morning and last night. All right, as you know, over the past week, the Navy Marine Corps had 3 Class A mishaps and two Class A mishaps and a near mid-air collision. One involving a Class A mishap with an F-18 Super Hornet, one with a T-6 training aircraft down in the Gulf region, Pensacola and Alabama region, and then a near mid-air collision with a 60 Sierra based out of North Island. And what we did today and last night was just take the time to refocus the maintenance and the air crews on procedural compliance, whether it's towing aircraft and all the stuff I already discussed, making sure we're following the procedures in the 4790, in the IETMs, maintenance instruction manuals, the MIMs, right, the PPMAs, making sure we're loading ordnance in accordance with the LWS 000 and the LWS 200. Right, just reinforcing that procedural compliance, appropriate supervision, and having a questioning attitude when the time comes. All right, and then for the pilots and air crewmen, we took the opportunity to dive into a couple of aircraft mishaps over the past couple of decades that highlighted the dangers of just flying these aircraft. Whether it was aircraft that were deployed on ships, maybe not following the checklist when you're blade folding or conducting blade spread operations on the aircraft carrier. Maybe you were doing a hot seat, and in that hot seat shutdown, the ordnance men were conducting RNCs and loading a Hellfire missile. Or maybe we're flying around the local area and flying into maybe icing conditions or into the clouds. We talked about, sound operational risk management and crew resource management. Again, appropriate level of supervision so that we don't get into our bad situations. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to refocus on the basics. It's going to help us, one, get through this next a couple of weeks of MPA, and then number two, it will ensure that we're conducting maintenance and flight operations as safely and effectively as we can. So thank you for that. And that's all we had. Again, we'll continue to conduct these virtual quarters on a regular schedule as needed. If you have something you would like me to address in these forums, please pass up your questions or comments through your chain of command, or maybe put a note in the CO suggestion box, or just shoot me an email, and I'll be sure to address your question or comment in the quarters so that everyone can benefit of those words being put out. So again, over this next couple of weeks, please remain focused on MPA and on those 4 priorities that we discussed in preparation for our underway periods come January. And with that, shipmates, good luck and have a good day. Thanks.